Hello, good morning, welcome back to the Fish Locker out on the boat. I'm out today, I'm not on my boat, I'm on my friend Dave Collins' boat. This is the Solent Warrior. I will tag more information about it, we'll talk about it through the day, but I'll tag the information in the description of the video. We're fishing in the Solent. This is the needles at the back of us here. It's been a couple of weeks since Dave's been out, so today's going to be a bit of an exploratory day. A little bit of drift fishing, a little bit of lure fishing, some fishing at anchor, some on wrecks, some on banks. So we have rods for every eventuality. A mixture of baits, a positive attitude. We'll just hope to see what we can find. Let's go.
We're going to come round it that way.
First spot we've got to is we've come to a wreck. As I've explained in some of my videos before, first thing you'll do when you get to a new wreck is you see which way you're drifting. So Dave just positioned the boat there next to the wreck. Killed the engine and just to see which way we go. Now that we know which way the boat's going to lie, we'll go around the top side, up the tide side of the wreck, drift over it. What we're using is, do you call them a flying collar rig or a helicopter rig?
Helicopter rig, yeah.
I always just called it a Portsmouth rig.
It was what we used to use back in the day out on the wrecks, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it was Ray that kind of got me onto using them this way.
It's as simple. It's simple as it gets.
All I have is I just have a little three-way swivel like that. And the best part of maybe 8 or 9 feet of fluoro. One of the reasons why I like fluoro is, can you see how it's all kind of like coiled up? And yet all you need to do is just give it a run with your fingers and then it straightens it all out. Whereas if you're using mono and it all gets tangled around itself, it's knackered. Whereas fluoro, you can just pull it straight. And mine, I'm going to be using a 12 to 20 and a fathom. I'll have a bit of a nosy about what you're going to use.
So, the old wrecking rigs, a helicopter rig.
Yeah.
20 pound fluorocarbon, 6 foot. 6 to 7 foot with a sidewinder.
Oh yeah.
And this is a 1220 Regiment 2 boat rod, new series.
Mine's a Regiment 2 solid carbon. Oh, sorry, Regiment 3 solid carbon. I just like it to have a little bit of give.
Yeah.
Like when you're shadding on wrecks, you just need to have like a little bit of cushion in the rod to take out the lunge of the fish.
Yeah, 1220 is all you're going to really need, and unless if you're anchoring wrecks for big ling, and you need to really get them out of that wreck.
That's it. You're not dragging it out of the rough stuff, are you? You're just cushioning the lunges of its dives. We're just at the last of the tide, and the tide's slowing down as it gets to slack. Because we haven't had a chance to go out very often over the past couple of months just because of the bad weather, it's all about finding where the fish are, because they don't all stay in the same place, they don't all stay on the same wreck or the same bit of ground. I think I could probably get away with a lighter lead next time.
Yeah. What have you got now?
Might have been
12.
We've drifted over one corner of the wreck there. We'll spin round and try another one now.
God, we have lost all tide. Look at that word.
0.4, 0. Yeah.
Lost it. What I'll do,
Switch to a jig and sit on top of it.
I'll sit. Yeah, I think so.
And that shows the difference there of when we arrived. When we arrived, we were drifting through just over a knot. And in the 15 minutes of the first drift of staying back round again, the tides dropped right off. It's just about to adapting to what's going on. Navionics is fantastic, isn't it?
It's brilliant.
Yeah. It's a bit of a game changer to what we do for fishing now.
Yeah.
The apps that we've got on our phones, I'll show you, man. Using a GPS to get us to the rough area of the wreck, and then using the Navionics boating app to show you specifically where on the wreck you are. You can see the wreck there, look. This is the Navionic boating app. We fished the wreck with lures until the tide changed and just caught pouting. Let's go and put the anchor down. Slip her off?
Yeah, go on, mate.
Right, you tight?
You on the bottom? Yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
How many more feet am I giving it? So another 60 foot. 5, 10, 15. Right, boys over. Same as like when anchoring on my boat. Work the anchor over the side. And all I did there was when the anchor got to the bottom, measured out an extra 60 foot to give it some slack. We're anchoring up in about 100 foot of water. So we've put out almost 2 times the depth. Now what we'll do is, as the tide's just starting to swing back, we will eventually swing into a position where we'll be sat hopefully for the next couple of hours, because we've got all of the tide. And you see it's a set of banks.
Yeah, so we got a big ridge running through the middle. It's like 2 banks that come up.
Are these sand or shingle or?
Sand. With like a gully running through the middle. We've dropped the anchor into that gully in the middle. So we'll be fishing down the back edge of the bank.
Brilliant. We'll get set up and we'll show you all the rigs and the baits before we stick them out. There we go, the boat's sat back all right now. Dave's just got his first bait out. The rod that I'm using here, this is a 20-30. This is slightly heavier than what we were using before when we were trying shad it. Same type of, I've got a mainline braid and then I've got a mono leader. And all I'm going to be doing is just fishing a very simple running ledger rig. Being that I've got a slider that my lead's going to go on, and I've got a swivel at the end that I'm going to collect my trace. Now, I've not fished this bank before. Dave tells me that there is a chance of rays and of smooth downs and of spur dogs. Right, the spur dogs is recommended using wire just in case they come along. So I'm going to be fishing 2 rods. One of the rods, I'm going to have a wire trace. This is just like £60 wire. And on this one, I'm going to be using mono, £80 mono. And I've just taken half a fillet off a side of mackerel that I brought from Cornwall on a 6/0 hook. Now at the moment, because the tide's not overly strong, the tide's just picking up and get away with like a 6 or an 8. As the tide starts to increase in strength, we're going to have to increase the leads. How many dogfish do you reckon we're going to catch today?
Why have you said it?
Dave's nickname, Dave is affectionately called Dogger Dave. And it's due to his dogfish catching ability, not his nighttime activity.
Yeah. You'd be surprised how many people go, yeah, what? Why do they call you Dogger Dave? Like, think about it, it's dogfish, right?
But the bait sat there for maybe 5-10 minutes. I'm just rigging up a second rig. I've started getting some bite. I've got a bite on that rod, which is down the ways there. But it was a decent sized bait that I put down, so I'm going to leave it. I'm going to give it a chance to develop. You see it going away. The other rig I'm going to try, I'm going to put a smaller bait down. I'm going to put like a little strippy one on a smaller hook. If I get bitten off, then I know that the spurs are down there. And if there's something smaller, then it'll pick it up on this. We were talking about this last night. We went down to see a friend of ours who was fishing on the beach. We were talking about letting a bite develop or getting a little bit too excited and trying to strike at it too early. And there is no definitive. There's no like, oh well, you have to leave it this long or strike it straight away. Different people have got different things. Like that's a big bait and a big hook. So I'm going to wait until it hooks itself. Give me plenty of time to rig my other bait up. But it is something that comes with patience, and there'll be times when you'll wait and you'll be waiting and waiting and waiting, and then it'll go away and you think, I should have struck. And then there'll be other times where you'll see a real good bite and you'll think, it's got to be on, and you'll strike and it'll come off and you think, I should have waited. It's just one of them things, part of fishing. Yeah, this is all the biggies. Hoping for a ray. This one. For anybody that's not au fait with the type of fishing that we're doing, we're down tiding. So we're anchored up, the tide's going that way, and our baits are down tide. You can fish with an up tide rod whilst you're doing this, and that will be a rod that you cast up tide.
You don't rule that fishing, I will.
I was just going to talk about the bait. I'm using this as a way of distracting me from that bite. The baits that I've got at the minute, I caught some mackerel fresh yesterday, vacuum packed them, put them under an ice block and brought them up here. Get a real good mackerel fishery in the winter down in Cornwall, but the rest of the country, like what months do you get them here?
The mackerel, so June, July,
And then they just disappear.
and then they're gone. Yeah.
We'll get two different runs down my way. We'll get the smaller ones through the summer, and then through the winter you get the nice big ones. We'll experiment with a different setup of baits. These baits, don't we? We've got some frozen squid, we've got a little bit of cuttlefish. As we're steaming out, cuttlefish are just starting to come in short of breed in like a couple of weeks to a month. We found a black back that was pecking on the water. We both spotted it and we were like, that'll be what that is. So we fished it out with a net because it's great bait, cuttlefish. Not only that, but if they're present here, then fish will be used to eating them. So you're presenting a bait that they're used to eating.
Found him?
I think so.
There he is.
I don't know what it is yet. I've got a big lead on here. It'll come up and it'll be a dogfish. Yeah. I am quite good at catching these. I'll make a couple of observations about this. If you've seen any of them on my videos down in Cornwall, they're usually a bit darker than this. This guy's really pale. And when he opens his eyes and he shows you, his pupils are massive. Mainly because of the clarity of the water. It'll be pitch black down there just because of the poor clarity. Yeah. Unfortunately, we are going to see several of them. Dave and I are very good at catching them.
Very good. Little strappy.
That one was a little strap conger reel. Again, really pale one. You might notice as well, like the tips of its tail are black.
Yeah.
They generally lose that when they get to about £10, don't they? It's only ever straps that seem to have the black tinge to the tails. Yeah, this is a really small one. These ones get up to £100. Oh, it's going. Show you really quickly. All I'm doing with these baits, they just need to be like long strippy baits because I want them to flutter a little bit in the tide. So I'm just, I've taken a fillet off the side of a mackerel and I'm just cutting long strips off it. Just hooking them on like that. We're fishing with scent. Using really scenty baits, oily baits, bloody baits, smelly baits. So yeah, you can't fall off using fresh bait. So that fresh mackerel that we brought should really give us a bit of an edge.
My old friend.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's not the same one. This one's a female, the first one was a male. The reason why I'm choosing to T-bar them off on the side of the boat is because they've got a horrible habit of being sick and pooping. It's like a really oily, like yellowy, grey, orange. Yeah, it's not nice. You don't want it in the boat. Kind of want to get the hook buried in, don't you, before the tide starts fully going?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Come on, let's move. We only need to move up about 100 foot, just so we're right on the edge of that bank.
We'll have these baits up, we'll pull the anchor up, we'll move a little bit, get set back again. See where it held up on the knots with the rope to the chain.
Right.
Keep going. Go a little bit past and we'll drift down. So like I say, you can always let more rope off. You might not have seen what I did there. As we ran the rope out, as we were coming towards the end, I just held on to it and I felt the chain straighten out and then the anchor bed. I felt it pull. So now we know we're sat right at where we need to be. I'll tell you what, yeah, it's almost like we know what we're doing sometimes.
I don't know if they'll be able to see on that, would they?
We're trying to position ourselves right on top of the bank and we're as damn to close 10 foot off where we needed to be. So fingers crossed this will be us for the foreseeable. Let's get these baits freshened up, get cast back out. As we've moved again, as we've moved spots, we're going to have to build up another scent trail. So that's why we're putting brand new fresh baits on, fresh bloody baits. Once the scent starts flowing back over the rest of the banks, the fish should follow the scents up and find our baits. That's the theory of it anyway. Whirling a bit, is it? On the wire as well.
That's possibly the smallest blonde ray I've ever seen in my life. There we go. Little tiny blonde. You can tell it's a blonde compared to a spotty because on the spots will go all the way to the tip of the wings on the blonde rays, and they'll fall short on the spotted rays.
Good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, bonny when they're like that.
It's nice to see. Sometimes it's nice to see many species of the big fish you normally hunt. Lovely.
I think this guy's followed us from that last mark. Exactly the same, isn't he?
Yeah.
That shows you the difference of the areas that are fish. I mean, at the moment we're in 100 odd foot, so we're in 35 metres, and we're using already like a pound of lead. The spots where I anchor up are like 80-90 metres, and I use 8 to 10 ounces. Just the difference in tides, isn't it?
We're on 1.3 knots at the moment. The maximum it goes to is 1.5 in 45 minutes, and then it starts. Oh, right, I've got it. You're right. That's a better fish, isn't it?
No, a different type of fish, but I feel a bit more. Feels like a little taupe or something.
Does it?
Yeah. It might be a smoothie.
Yeah, you get the odd one at it.
Well done.
There you go.
Thank you very much. That there, it did look like it was disorganised, and that did look like a little bit of carnage. But that's why you have detachable traces. That's why all of our traces end in a swivel. So when we all got wrapped up there, because that smooth down, when it picked up, managed to run round one of the other lines. Now all we did there was I just unclipped the trace, put the fish away, and I sorted the lines out. Little mailer on fresh mackerel.
On mackerel.
I did that. Well, I did that in the classic, didn't I?
Yeah.
In the competition that we fished last year, I ended up catching the largest smoothhound in the charter section, and I caught it on a wire trace on mackerel.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was all it was. It was a 6-0 meat hook, fresh mackerel.
Just goes to show that if there's no crabs or squid for them to chew on.
Well, they're just opportunistic, aren't they? They're just keen for it.
Yeah.
There you are. Now, it was believed up until recently that there was 2 different types. There was a spotty, like a starry one, like this, and a common one. But as it is, they're both genetically exactly the same.
The genes are spot on.
It just so happens to be that some of them have got starry spots and some haven't. Yeah, you can see by the shape of his head, he just scoots along on the bottom, and they haven't actually got any teeth in there. They're just crushing pads. These guys feed on worms and squid and crabs, everything on the bottom. And you can tell it's a male by those 2 claspers there.
Yeah.
Got one of you?
Yeah.
Could tell immediately that was a different fish, different type of fish, just by the type of bite that we're getting. Oh, nice and good. Blonde. Or is it scrappy? Well, that was it, wasn't it? It was getting the scent down. Just chance to get some of them fresh baits down, get some scent on it, and getting yourself right on the prime position of the bank. We only moved 100 yards.
Yeah. Yeah, we were just running off. We were pretty much just as it started to plateau again. I think that's why we're picking up the dog here.
You're on the floor now.
Yeah.
Back up. Slightly bigger than the last one you had. There you go, mate. It's your fish.
Thank you.
Well done.
There we go. Not a bad fish.
Again, you can see that the spots go all the way to the edges of the wings. There is a way as well about the way that they go down the tail. I think it's spotties, they're all symmetrical all the way down, and blondes
It's unsymmetrical. Do you mind getting a quick photo, John?
no problem at all, mate.
Straight back down.
Just in the tide, just straight down.
That's your one.
Oh, it's mine. Well, I'll give you your phone then.
Yeah.
It's time to get a drink and a bite to eat out. Last time Dave and I come out, we were just trying to missing the way out to me. We got all the way out and we started fishing and we're like, you always forget something, and you forgot the sandwiches last time.
Lunch, yeah.
So he's made it up to me this time by making us a pack out, and these are.
So that's look what happened while I was making it. So while I was making them, I needed to test them. The chef always tests his own food.
Thank you very much.
Chicken and cheese.
Yeah, you see that, Hannah? There's a filling in these sandwiches.
Got him.
I'll tell you what, he was hungry for that one. You're good, mate. No missing that one. How have you managed that? Back with it.
That's not us. That's not a right. Really?
Oh, it's slightly bigger. Still not a record. But
There you go.
There we are.
Lovely job.
Well done.
Cheers.
Who's winning on species then, you?
I know, mate.
You've had a blonde conger and a doggy, and I've had a doggy and a smooth and a conger.
And a conger.
Ah, 3-all. It's not like everything's a competition, but
No.
it kind of is.
Nice sis.
What we need to do is we need to get into one of these dogfish competitions.
Is there such thing? Well, I mean, any of the shore fishing, it's pretty much dogfish competition. Isn't it?
That rig of yours does like spinning up, I'll tell you what, it worked. Did that pick it up when you were lifting it off the bottom? Well done. I'll put that down here. We were just joking on now and we were saying, oh yeah, well it's the difference between the rigs, and he says, oh it's skill. Yeah, alright. I'll take it, that one was skill. And I very nearly lost the T-bar off the side, but it was...
Nearly.
All David said there was he just said, oh yeah, I haven't checked this rig in a while, but I had no interest in it. So I picked it up, lifted it, started winding it in. And I didn't turn the camera on straight away because it was just, we thought it was a little eel.
That's not a bad fish, is it?
Even better if you hold it properly. I'll give you a good, over 4.
5.
Have you got a photo with it?
Yes, please, mate. Yeah.
Of course, we've got a lot of tide running past. All he's doing is just holding it in the tide and letting the tide go in its mouth and over its gills.
There we go. What? Okay.
Well done. That was a lovely fish. For anybody curious, that was a perfect size eating bass, but at the moment we're in a closed season for bass because it's the breeding season, so that fish had to be returned. I don't know whether or not you would have chose to return it anyway, but
I've got a slot between £2 and £4 is my slot.
yeah. Mine's a bit bigger.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say like £3.5 to £4 up to £6.
Yeah.
And the reason being is, well, I suppose you're just thinking about feeding you and your missus.
Yeah.
I've got 4 of us in the house.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's slightly bigger.
She doesn't eat fish, so it's only me. So, you know, a £3 fish is 2 meals for me.
Yeah. So I think it's 3 there, whatever it is. It's bigger doggy again. Yeah, well, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. This just goes to show there is no rhyme nor reason to it. Dave and I are using the same size hooks with the same baits within feet of each other. And dogfish after dogfish after dogfish. But what I'll do is the next time Dave brings one of his rigs in, probably with a really big fish on it, I'll get him to talk you through that rig as well. People saying you're the dogfish master.
I'm just letting you have it.
Not when I'm knocking them out for fun.
I'm just letting you have it for the day.
It's not just me then.
Maybe the table's turning.
This is effectively like a bolt rig then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because your sliding lead is locked into a piece of about 1.5 feet.
Yeah.
Same weight of lead as me, and then you've just got 2.5 to 3 feet of total trace. Half of yours is wire.
Tangled wire.
Kinked up.
Kinked. So
What have you got there? Just an 8-0? Yeah,
8-toe circle, yeah.
So no difference in the size of the hooks, no, just
It's purely, the only difference is the wire.
I'm not getting the net out.
I'll be doing it myself.
It was hooked nicely, that one.
Bless you.
The reason why I'm using a glove for this is because this little bit of wire, if you wrapped your fingers up in it and that conger started to spin, it just traps your fingers and it'll cut your fingers. Are you going to give that £5?
Yeah, something like that. Lovely job.
Well done. I'm just saying we're going to give this mark another half an hour and then we'll look about moving somewhere. Because the bites are
It's
dying
solid.
off.
Yeah.
Swimming up tight, swimming up tight. We've just had a load of bites on all the different rods and it was just every single one of them dropped it. I think we picked it up on that one. When we're talking about a fish swimming up tide, all the leads and all the baits are right down there, and this fish now is midships of the boat, so it means it's picked up the bait and the weight and is swimming this way with it. No,
You followed it in.
just
didn't
backed you up just in case. Thank you. I don't know. Very faint.
Oh, very faint stars here.
Yeah. There you go, there's another one. Yeah. No teeth in them, just a little pad. These, oh, well, another male actually with these claspers, you can see. How heavy have you had these up to around here? About £20?
About 20, yeah.
Yeah, this one's only a couple of pounds, but they do go up to 20 odd. They're a really sporty fish, cracking fighting fish.
Yeah, with the right tackle, I mean, you can have some great fun. In the summer, we come down here inshore with just spinning rods, little light leads, and it's great fun. Back up. It
Possibly.
does,
Little skinny whiting. We were getting a load of like wrapping bites that just weren't materialising. We'd speculated because we were coming down to slack water that it might have been bream. Yeah, I've just caught one of these, so this is probably the culprit. Yeah, that's definitely what it is down there, little whiting. We've given it its chance to slack. I'm going to pull the anchor up now and move to a different mark. Not reached the anchor, I don't think.
Be quick then.
Steaming away to this other mark, and we've just seen a lot of birds working in a boil. They are... This is the moment when things went wrong. As I turned the camera around, I managed to knock the microphone straight out the side of the camera. So all of the following clips and these bass have no audio on them. Unfortunately, it's just one of those accidents that happens. Frustratingly there, this is what happens when you get a little bit too excited. We were steaming from one mark to another and saw a load of birds working. Got straight amongst it and started catching some fish, and I realised I hadn't set up the camera properly. So all of that we've just done, that we've just filmed, was landing 3 bass.
Yeah.
Has got no audio on it. If there's been anything worth picking out of it, I'll put it in here now. But yeah, literally all we were doing, steaming from one mark to another, and then saw a load of birds working in a tide line. So reacted to it, and we've come in here with the spinning rods. To start off with, I was using a surface lure because they were up high in the water, but switched now to some, I'm using a metal and you're using just a sinking soft plastic.
Soft plastic, yeah.
and all we're doing is going to run the boat up. Hopefully now you'll see what we're doing, now that I've had a chance to sort my life out. We were just talking about this earlier on. Dave's got his own channel, Solent Warrior. I'll tag it into it. Dave does a lot of similar fishing to what I do. But you basically just share your fishing adventures. You've got a couple of videos from abroad, you've got all around the UK, from big stuff to small stuff. We were just talking earlier about the trials and tribulations of batteries dying and about having no audio. Yeah, it happens. But we're catching some fish, so it's not all bad. Oh, fish.
Right, yeah.
Straight out. That was that stopping your tracks one. That one. Other bass kind of followed this one. So by casting to near where I was, can pick up the fish that were following this one. We were just talking about the first fish that come out. I don't know if you heard it. I don't know if the audio's worked. But because they're living in all this white water, all this just super oxygenated charged water, whenever they come out, they're always really feisty. Like this. Oh man, my line had a bass on it then. It does now. Oh,
Some side of it. Oh, yeah, so does mine. Sorry, mate.
it's alright, no, you're doing right.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah. Mine feels like a
Oh,
nice
I think mine just came off. Yeah, it's come off.
fish. Mine feels like quite a nice.
Yeah, that looks like a better fish.
As I'd kind of alluded to when I was bringing it in, I said it's either a nice fish or it's coming in sideways. And with the second set of hooks there, one of the assist hooks had just nipped into the lovely fish. But yeah, they always fight a lot harder when they're coming in slightly sideways. A lot paler than the ones we get down our way, because I suppose it's the colour of water.
Yeah.
Yeah. As we've said, these are currently in a closed season, so you can't keep them. Still great fun to see, aren't they?
Like 3 attempts at that fish.
Come on, mate, three
You're
times.
like, oh, I've got a fish on. Oh, no, I haven't. Oh, I've got a fish on that. There it is.
Yeah. So obviously it was running in. The bass have got spines at the back of the gills, and they can run in and like hit stuff. So half the time they're trying to stun it, and that's what you get, like a false bite. That's also sometimes how you end up foul looking them in the side of the face. Missed it.
Feeding on small stuff.
I've got another spinner here if you want it. There's the fish. You found it in the end.
Slow retrieve.
Well, all I was doing was I let mine sink a little bit and just give it one flick as if it was like a wounded. You try and do this, you try and imagine in your mind what the fish must be thinking and what they're wanting. And I was imagining, because of all this turbulence and all this carrying on, all this chaos, that there might be little wounded fish sinking down to the bottom. So that's what when I was working my lure, that's what I was wanting to do. Like I was saying, bass have got spines on the back of here, all over the top of there.
Alright, we're good.
There you go.
There we go.
Oh, yours is big.
I mean, it's a little bit bigger.
Can't even say that man's fatter because. Brilliant! Oh, yeah.
a classic whack and then turn straight back on it.
So come in and smacked it, and then because it was still sinking, come back and swallowed it. This is about legal size. But as we were talking about earlier on in the video, when Dave got that real nice one at anchor, I personally won't like taking them when they're this small.
You've got a lot of mouths to feed.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, the reason why we have minimum landing sizes is so that fish should have had a chance to breed. Fish should have had a chance to breed by the time you've caught them. I'm not fully convinced that all fish by the time they're at minimum landing size for bass have had a chance to breed yet.
No. Very fired up. There we go. That got me a good in that one.
Stung you, did it?
It done me all over.
Worst ones are usually, in fact, like the anal fin has got like a really stubby one.
Yeah.
We've noticed that a lot of these fish that we're catching are all around about the same stamp. Now they do knock about together, big sizes and little sizes in the same group. We've just got to fish through the smaller ones because there's going to be more smaller ones than big ones. You have to fish through the smaller ones to find the really big ones. Also, what I'm trying to do, I'm running the helm at the same time. Because we're drifting through here quite fast. To try and not only keep the nose of the boat up so that we're going to have a smoother ride, also to keep us amongst the fish, I'm having to run the boat up against the tide.
A bad stamp of fish.
They're just like an Energizer bunny. They've just got new batteries in every single one, haven't they? Right, let's go back at them. There is a bigger one in there.
Yeah, let me get you right up.
Right, get yourself ready.
Some nice fish inside this shoal. Straight in. There you go. What's that hairy? There we go. They are really pale, aren't they?
Sometimes you get them down my way, especially when they've just come in, like a fresh run sea fish, and the tops of their backs are nearly black and they're really bright silver. Whereas these ones, I think it's because of all the chalky water that they're in, they are quite pale. But just exactly the same, all we're doing is we're fishing over the same mark with the same lures, and the last fish that I had out was about £2, and yet this one is a much better fish. Fantastic fishing. As we were talking about, that spike that usually gets me is this one down here. These are all a spike, these are all a spike, those are spikes, here's spikes, and there. Do you want to keep doing this, or do you want to go and try and catch a place?
I can't leave. Can you leave this? Is it a matter of time for one of us finding £9?
Well, this is kind of what I'm thinking. I'm keen to just keep on doing this until we find that double figure fish.
You never leave fish to find fish.
Don't leave fish to find fish. No. Let's keep on at this. What I'm going to do, because this is going to get quite repetitive because we're just pulling out the same type of fish. If we do get any really big ones, I'll show you that. Stunning looking fish. They are all in just prime condition.
Oh no!
Don't get many days like that. Oh, he's just splattered on the side of the boat.
Have one more fish.
That was painful. I've been saying that I wanted to get one on the top water. Just hooked it up on the top water. Turned the camera on because I only had a little bit of battery and it's just spat it at the side of the boat. I'm going to have one more try.
That looks
Right
like
on the surface as well, won't it?
yeah.
They are incredibly pale.
I wonder if it is anything to do with the oxygenated water.
I think it's to do with the, well, you're chalky down here, all the water's dirty.
Yeah.
I guess he's practically an albino, isn't he?
Yeah.
Look how pale its head is. Try and find a way of holding this
Without getting trebles
without
in the air.
getting hooks or spikes in me. There's the lure. That was a Gravity's lure. There you go. Top water bass achieved.
Lovely fish.
Yeah. Can I have another go?
Yeah, go on.
Right, one last go and then we've got to go. We've got about an hour of daylight left and it's going to take us an hour to steam back.
That's it. Come on.
Go on, mate.
You got that?
There you go. A top water bass is not a bad fish to end on. Like I said, this bass fishing in here has been absolutely unbelievable. But I'm on 4 or 5 different types of lures. All the way from being £2 up to, I think some of them we have like £500.
About £5, yeah.
I'm going to have to stop looking at them. We've had a fantastic mix of fish. I mean, we've had nice smowdowns, some blonde rays. You had a real nice bass through there.
Yeah.
More dogfish than I would care to see again. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Thank you very much. You'll have to come down Cornwall and I will go linging in the dog summit.
Yeah.
But I hope you've enjoyed joining us. I hope you found it interesting. All the very best. See you later. One more cast?
Yeah.
Yeah.